Okay,
Great.
ready to go.
Welcome, Tyson.
Hi.
We're very excited to be talking about TOSCON 2015 today. What exactly is TOSCON 2015?
Well, it's our annual, TESOL Toronto's annual spring conference, and about 3 years ago, we sort of inadvertently took on the TOSCON brand because it was the first time in, I think, 2013 that I was starting to really use social media to promote TESOL Toronto's conference. And as a result of that, I made a hashtag, as you might be well aware on Twitter, gets used. And TOSCON was TESOL Toronto, Ontario Spring Conference. And that's how that sort of brand happened. And it's just kind of picked up, and it's been a little bit easier for people to reference the conference. So that's really where it comes from, and that's why we call it that, and that's really what it is our conference.
Excellent. So maybe just in a few words, tell me what the conference is.
Well, the conference is an annual conference for English language teachers, and mostly those from Toronto and the surrounding area. We come together once a year and share information, mostly about 25 to 30 individual sessions from teachers across various sectors, including school board, private language, school, college and university, and Lincoln Settlement. And we invite international speakers to come along as well to share their knowledge and get us outside of just our little bubble of Toronto. So that's basically what TOSCON is.
Excellent. So it sounds like it's appealing to a number of different audiences. Maybe first off, you can tell me what's different at this year's conference from previous conferences.
Well, I'll start actually with there's some similarities. The last 3 years, we've had kind of a similar format in that we've had a day and a half, really, but you could call it 2 days worth of conference. So we have the Friday, which is day one, and it has a gala dinner. It has some talks and a lot of socializing and networking. And then day two, we have the full day conference, which is more the traditional one that TESOL Toronto has been having for several years. And they have 3 sessions with a bunch of different talks covering a lot of different sectors. And we end the day with a plenary. So this year, the way it's different than last year is we have day one at Hart House, which is an historic building, kind of like Harry Potter in the University of Toronto. And we'll have 2 sessions of 45-minute talks before the gala dinner near Hart House, actually, at University College. And those are going to be surrounding the topic of research, and really how research shouldn't be something that is totally isolated from practice. So we've invited speakers who are going to try to talk about how to bridge ELT research with pedagogy. So there's going to be those 2 talks, and then we'll have the gala dinner like we've had for the last couple of years, and we'll be able to talk about the talks that we've seen. We'll be able to socialize with all of our colleagues, and it's a little bit more intimate actually than day 2, where there's no cap on the registration. We can have as many people as possible. So day 2, we have it at Sid Smith and New College, which is where we've been having it traditionally for about 10 or 15 years now. And there will be 3 sessions pretty much like last year and the year before. And in those sessions, we'll have mostly Toronto-based teachers leading them about what they're doing in their practice. And there's no theme for Saturday, it's just a conference for everybody. We'll also have a little bit of a light breakfast, and we'll have a nice catered lunch. And the way it's going to end tomorrow is or not tomorrow, but day 2 is we'll have a closing plenary by Jeremy Harmer, who I think is fairly well known in the ELT world. So it's our first time to have him here, and we're very excited.
Excellent. So for those of us who may not know who Jeremy Harmer is, can you give us a little bit more information?
Jeremy is a pretty well-known author, actually, in language teaching. he wrote many books, but the one I think most people would be familiar with, or at least notice first, is The Practice of English Language Teaching. I think it's in its third or fourth edition by now, and it's been used in many TESOL programs, including the one that I went through. So he really is I don't want to say guru, but someone who knows a lot about methodology and has really been speaking about methodology for a number of years. But he has a number of other books as well. You can go to jeremyharmer.wordpress.com, I believe, and he's also a musician on the side. So he's going to be talking a little bit about music during one of his talks as well.
Oh, excellent. And you mentioned we have a couple of other keynote speakers. Could you give an overview of those as well?
Yeah, we have two other featured speakers. One is Russell Main from the University of Leicester in the UK. He's someone that I got to know primarily online because of his blog, Evidence-Based EFL. And his focus really is on moving away from our sort of just intuition on how to teach to research-based, evidence-based practice. So he talked quite a bit about that kind of thing on his blog. And then at IATEFL last year, he presented a session somewhat similar to the one that he's going to be doing for us on pseudoscience. So it's one that I think is going to cause a lot of people to talk and hopefully continue a discussion past the conference. And then on top of that, we have Briar Jameson. She is someone we invited because of her work with English Online, which is a government-funded language learning program online through Manitoba. She also is one of the people who organized the Realize conference, and that's happened in a couple of years. It's something that is Canada's first real web conference, and she does a great job, her and her team, and we wanted her to come and talk about her experiences with starting up an initiative like English Online and the Realize conference.
Oh, sounds great.
Mm.
So it seems like you're talking quite a bit about the theory behind language teaching. Can you give me an overview about how much of the conference is going to be the theoretical versus hands-on workshops that I can take as a teacher, information that I can bring right into the classroom the following Monday?
I would definitely say that the focus is actually on the latter. Yes, there is going to be a focus on research and how it relates to the classroom on Friday. And we encourage, really, I think the best sessions are ones that do mention research in some way, shape, or form to lay the foundations for why they do what they do in the classroom. But in general, most of the sessions actually will be practical activities and practical things that are done in the classroom, and those things will be shared with all of the attendees who go to them, and hopefully they'll be able to either take away something directly and put it into their classroom, or they'll be able to adapt. But I do want to encourage actually ideas on research and theory behind what people do to be included in their sessions as well.
Okay. And one of the benefits of conferences like this is getting to talk with other professionals in your field. Can you just give again, sort of, you've mentioned it a little bit, but what are the networking opportunities at this conference?
There's a lot, actually. If you go to day one, as I mentioned, I mean, aside from the fact that people will be collaborating and talking during sessions themselves, on day one, the gala dinner is largely all of the people who've attended day one really enjoying a meal together that's quite gourmet, and that's the opportunity really for them to socialize and network and talk with each other. Not to mention the fact that all of the TESOL Toronto executive will be there, Jeremy Harmer will be there, Briar Jamerson will be there, Russell Main, all of the presenters on day one will be there as well. So hopefully the conversations will be able to continue from the talks into the dinner as well. And then on day two, of course, if you arrive a little bit before the sessions start at 10 o'clock, then we have a kind of pick up and grab kind of breakfast spread. And I think that's a good opportunity actually for people to meet each other and meet their colleagues and talk a little bit. Aside from that, there's obviously going to be some breaks in between the sessions. We have 3 sessions that day, and it's going to be really hard for some people to get to all of the talks that they want to go to. So inevitably, there's going to be something that you might miss, and you might have a half an hour or an hour free, and that can be a great opportunity to go to the exhibitor display, to talk with people there, to talk with people who are walking around, or even meet someone new who, you know, is sitting by themselves. And then, of course, we have the lunch, and the lunch is staggered this year as well as it has been for a couple of years, to allow different groups of people to be going at different times to the lunch. So that's going to be, depending on your day, either a very short lunch, could be a half an hour if you're going to jam pack everything in, but it could be up to an hour and a half probably too if you choose different sessions to go to. So there's, I think, quite a bit of opportunity for people to socialize and network with each other. And, you know, after the conference, go to a bar and enjoy some time with each other talking about what happened that day. That's what I'm going to do.
Excellent. And so in closing, for people that haven't got their tickets yet, how do you get tickets? How much does it cost? What are the details there?
Well, everybody can go to bit.ly/TossGun15 and all the information's there. But to kind of quickly reiterate, if you're a Tussle Toronto member, then it's $45 per day to attend the conference. And day 1 is almost sold out, so you really need to get on there and get your ticket as soon as possible. Day 2 won't sell out because there's no cap on the number of people that can go. So don't worry about that, but it is $45 per day. And comparatively speaking, that's actually a very, very good deal, especially since day 1 we have a nice catered dinner, and day 2 there's a catered lunch and breakfast. So there's 10.5 hours of PD really as well spread throughout there. And everybody else, it's $55 a day. So again, not particularly expensive. And you can choose to go to day 1 or day 2 or both days. And finally, on day 2, if you didn't make it to the online registration, then we'll have on-site tickets as well for $60.
Excellent. So I'll leave you now. Is there any closing comment that you'd like to make?
I just really encourage everybody to come. Every year that we do this conference, at least that I've been president, has been absolutely amazing, and it's one of my favorite conferences. And I think having gone to many other conferences, I think we compare in terms of the quality of PD that's available, the speakers that come, and really the atmosphere, I think, is not too big and not too small. So hopefully, if you haven't given it a shot, I would really encourage you to come out to at least day 2 and bring some of your colleagues. And if you have been there before, make sure you spread the word, and hopefully we'll see you at TossGun.
Thank you very much, Tyson. I look forward to seeing you there.
Cheers, Lynda.
Bye.
Bye.